number 12 together. Vidyayah pratikulam hi karma syada nirvikaratma buddhischa vidyetiha prakirtita ahankarta mamedam syat iti karma pravartate vastvadhina bhaved vidya kartradhino bhaved vidhihi. Up till here we have seen, in these two verses, Adi Shankara refutes the karma, jnana karma, samuchchaya vada. Vada, a contention. A contention that totally has a wrong understanding of what knowledge of the self is. It doesn't know. Knowledge of the self, what it is, it doesn't know. This particular contention. And who is the adhikari, it doesn't know. It's just somehow beating the dead horse of the Veda being one particular entity, and that Veda alone must be studied in totality. So if the first part says such and such a person has to do this karma, then that person has to do the karma. So you cannot get out of karma. Yes, jnanam also you study. It's like saying that I'll have little bit of samsara and little bit of moksha at the same time. Not possible. And so we saw the first refutation in verse number 12, Swarupataha Nirodha. That the karma and jnanam are not compatible. Why are they not compatible? Swarupataha Virodha. There is a contradiction even from the standpoint of each one's swarupa. So karma and jnanam cannot mingle, because karma is what? If one has to do karma, karma is connected to karta, and then the karta has to be brought out. And what do you study in Vedanta class? I am indeed a karta. That's what you study, right? No. What do you study? I am not a karta. I am not a bhokta. So how can you say I am not a karta for 3 hours during the class time in the course of the day, and the rest of the time what are you doing? Keeping on bringing out the karta in various karmas. So that's why Vedanta doesn't work. And then in doing karma, there is a dvaita buddhi. Dvaita buddhi means I am the karta, and then this karma is directed towards who? Somebody called Ishvara, and that Ishvara is the recipient of my prayers. Alright? And so this is the problem. And also, why am I doing karma? For karma phala, papa, punya. And what am I doing in Vedanta? Letting go of karma phala in order to grow. So therefore, in order to grow, to understand this, in order to become a proper adhikari. So therefore, the 12th verse says that they are two separate people. They are two separate set of people, and we have seen this in detail. How Veda and Vedanta are talking to two different audiences who have actually nothing to do with one another. They can't even look at each other. They belong to completely different realms. And we see this. You see this, people who like to go to temples a lot, not a little bit, but a lot, will not come to Vedanta. You see this all the time. I used to teach in Washington, D.C. for several years. And the classroom was underneath in the basement. And the deities were all above. And then the organizer of the Vedanta classes used to lament there's only 30, 40, maybe 50 people downstairs and there are 150 people upstairs. Why is that? So I would just tell them, I would console them and say that what goes up must come down. So eventually that's what will happen. Force of gravity. And so this is this is how it is. If there is too much interest in temples, etc., one is fostering Dvaita all the time. All the time, fostering Dvaita. Dvaita, 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 because there is some, insecurity. Insecurity is already there, but here the insecurity is going to be taken care of how? Through basically relying on Ishvara as somebody who will protect me, who will take care of me, who will save me, etc., etc., etc. And so that for Shravanam, certain things have to be interrogated. Certain things have to be definitely interrogated, and so therefore karma and jnanam are completely incompatible. And then that is verse 12. Verse 13 says that this identification with the karta and the karma being mine and the karma phala accruing to me, that's why I go into all these gotras and all these things in big detail. That's why I say I belong to this particular, I am the daughter of so and so, I am the son of so and so. All this is said in this pravara. When you introduce yourself, this is what you say. I belong to this particular Veda, and then Yajushakha Adhyayi, and the son of so and so, daughter of so and so. This is what I do, this is who I am. And this is how you introduce yourself to Bhagavan, this is how you introduce yourself to the elders also. So that that identification with one's lineage and with one's doership is very, very tight. And so aham karta, when one says, and then what? This is mine, and that is the modus operandi, that is the origin of all karma, is kartritvam. And then a very important point that nobody else other than Adi Shankara has talked about is pointed out here. What is that point? Kartradhina bhavet karma, vastvadhina bhavet vidya. The knowledge is as good as the object of knowledge. The knowledge is not true to what I think it should be. I think it should be a wonderful sunny day, but that's not what it is. And it looks like it will rain at some point or the other. But no, I don't accept that. Whether you accept that or not, what is the reality? That's how it is. That is how knowledge is. It is what it is because it cannot be what it is not. Simple. That's what many people don't understand. And so when you try to overlay when one tries to overlay one's own subjectivity on an object of knowledge, then there is no clarity there. And so that's how the clarity is compromised. And even in these Purva Pakshas, their own clarity is very badly compromised, very badly, subjective they are. And then, therefore, whatever they say does not make sense. So here the refutation is this, that knowledge is as true as the object. Because the eyes are not making the mistake. Sometimes maybe they make a mistake, but generally they don't make a mistake. The eyes, the ears just report. They are journalists. They just report. They just say, you know what, this is how it is. There are samosas getting ready. The nose is reporting, that's all. And then what does the mind say? I want. And that I want is the subjectivity that is overlaid on the samosa. And then somebody comes and says, you cannot have because this is made for this specific purpose. Oh, why me? And you see how sorrow, anger, everything ensues. And this is the identification with the karta, the identification with the bhokta, and the lead to subjectivity. And that subjectivity cannot be overlaid on things that are there to know. Whereas things that are there for the sake of karma, things that are where karma is concerned, choices abound. At least 3 choices come to mind. You can do, you need not do, you can do some other way. You can do later, or you can do some other way. Those choices are not there for knowledge. This is a clip. I can't say sometimes it's a clip, sometimes it's not a clip. I can't say that. It is always a clip. And so, if I say that I can see it as a clip, or I can see it as a not a clip, if you put Sanskrit negation, I can see it as a clip, or I can see it as a clip, not clip. And then sometimes I can see it as a clay figurine. It doesn't go. This is what is called, the pramana is okay, the eyes see, but somehow the mind, the ahankara, etc., and the ragadvesha, and the penchant for priya and apriya have interfered in the operation of the pramana. It's not that the pramana is wrong. Pramana is telling this is a clip. But somehow the ahankara refuses to accept it's a clip, because in so doing it senses that there is a loss for itself. This is how we are in this particular situation. And so this one, the first one was Swarupataha Virodha. First one means, the first one we chanted. What was that? 13? No, 12. 12. Verse 12 was karma and jnanam are totally opposed to each other by their nature. And the second one is hetutaha virodha is shown. Hetu means what? Reason, origin, cause. What is the cause of karma? Somebody has to own up the karma and say it is my karma, so karta is the cause of the karma. What is the cause of jnanam? Akarta is the cause of jnanam. And so that is one more incompatibility, because the origins of karta, akarta are very different. The akarta is the origins of the akarta is the origins of jnanam is what? Is appealing. Who is the one connected to jnanam? The one who is ready to drop kartritvam and remint themselves as karta. For them, this knowledge is important. And so like this, the refutation continues in the 15th verse also. 14th verse also, let us chant that. Karakanyupamridnati vidya buddhimivoshare iti tat satyamadaya karma kartum vyavasyati. This is a very important one. And the third one is phala. From the standpoint of phala, phalataha, there is a difference between karma and jnanam. And so, what does jnanam do? And there, the technical term is used, karakanam upamardhanam. Karaka upamardhanam. This is a technical term. And that's what is expressed. Karakani upamridnati. Mridnati, 9th conjugation. Mrid is the dhatu. Mridnati is crushed, squashed. Then we have to see what is crushed. Karakani. What are karakas? Factors involved in action are called karakas. It's also a technical term in Sanskrit, but it still means factors involved in all kinds of action. What are the actions? What are the factors? I have to be there, because if action is there, action cannot just happen without I. So I, first karaka. If you recall grammar lessons from 3rd or 4th grade, you did something like case, cases. And then first case, second case, third case. Like this. So, what is the first case? Karta. Karta comes first, because without karta no other karaka can exist. No other cases or factors in action can exist. The first one, I have to be there. I, who is ready to mint myself, identify myself as what? Karta. Subject. Second case, object. I. And then what do? I see. Then what do you see? I see a pot. What are you seeing? A pot. So pot becomes object, not subject. Pot becomes object. I am subject. The object case is called Dvitiya Karaka. Karma Karaka. Karma means object here. Karma has many meanings. We have to be careful. Then Karma Karaka. Then subject, object, are the two things enough for action? Not always. Sometimes maybe it's enough. I run to the village. Aham gramam prati dhavami. I run to the village. Then that's enough. Sometimes it's enough. But then that's not how samsaric conversations take place. Because people want to know why you are running, what is the purpose? And then, how did you run? And then like this. Or even forget run, I go to the village. Aham gramam gacchami. How did you go? Did you go by car? Did you go by bullock cart? How did you go? And for what purpose you went? And from where did you go? Did you go from another village? Did you go from a town? And then, were you accompanied by anybody else? This is the talk of Vyavaharika Satta. If you just say, I go to the village, nobody stops there. There are many curious people, because that's how it is. They want to know everything about you. Not about you, but what you are doing. But why? Because they can't stand to think about themselves, okay? Yeah, so you become an interesting diversion for them, and they become an interesting diversion for you. And you would have met so many people in your life, and out of those people, some of them like to ask a lot of questions. Oh my God, they don't stop. You just say casually, I was having dinner and some phone came. What did you have for dinner? This is completely irrelevant to the discussion. What you had for dinner, you also may perhaps not remember, but they will ask. There is a certain curiosity. It's either because they cannot stand their own lives and they have to be completely focused on yours, or they want to see what makes you tick. That could also be there. Or it's a control issue, a hidden control issue. Not knowing is not no control. So if I know more, information is power, so I feel as though I'm in charge. It's a very bad habit. But that's how it is. Sometimes they just don't let you go. And that's why I suppose the Karakas were born, because of these people. Because of the existence of these kinds of questions in the universe gave rise to the grammar, Sanskrit grammar, which has so many karakas. So the first karaka, karta, Aham, because without me no action can ensue. Second karaka, what is being acted upon? The object of the action. Like village. Aham gramam gacchami. The grama becomes what? Object of my going. The object of the verb, to go. Then you went, how did you go? And then I went by chariot. And that by chariot becomes the instrument of going. The instrument I use to go. Rathena gacchami gramam. See how the samsara is being born here by increasing interactions and increasing all kinds of giving karma, a boost. Nourishing karma. Then of course the curious person will ask the next question, why did you go? And then you can say something. Well, give me a reason. Why did you go to the village? Make up a reason. Yeah, to meet somebody, to greet somebody, or to see something, or to get something, whatever it is. So that purpose of action, the reason why you go to the village, becomes what is called sampradana karaka, fourth case. Fourth case means the purpose of action. Like Rama went to the forest. Rama goes to the forest. Why? Pitruvakya paripalanaya. That is fourth case. To make sure he fulfills the vow of his father given to his stepmother, Kaikeyi. That is in the fourth case. Or I just went to the village for a holiday, Brahmanartham, Brahmanaya, just to roam around. Because tired of the city life, somebody invited me, they had a farmhouse, and I went there just for the sake of roaming around. That is also a possibility. This is all comes under fourth case. And then the person can ask another question. We have to cover all the ground here. Where did you come from? You went to the village, but from where did you go? Oh, I went from one village to another village. Gramat gramam gacchami. Rathena brahmanaya. See already how long the sentence has become. First it was aham gacchami, I go. Then the next question, where? What is the object? Where do you go? What do you do? Oh, that's okay, I just went to a village. And then there is more extension of interaction. This is needless interaction. Totally needless interaction. And then somebody went, why should you worry about all their, activities, blow by blow report you need? Why do you do that? But that's how people are. And then the next one is why did you go? Then where did you go from? Gramat, fifth case. I went from Gramantaram, and I went from another village to this village. I go from village to village in the chariot for the sake of roaming around, for the sake of having a good time. What did you take with you? My bag, okay? Yeah. My suitcase. I took with me my suitcase. Or I packed my lunch. I went with my lunch. So my suitcase, my lunch has nothing to do with the verb. It is connected to the noun which is me, I. It is connected to the karta. It is not connected to the verb. This is called sixth case, genitive case. His, hers, its, mine, yours. My bag. Mama bhojanam, my lunch, which I packed to take with me and go from one village to another village via the medium of a chariot. See how unwieldy the sentence has become. Then there is the location of the action. So the action is happening and the action should have a location. Kumbhabhishekam asti. Kumbhabhishekam is there. And the pertinent question is what? Where? Where is the Kumbhabhishekam? Gurukule. In the Gurukula. Kumbhabhishekam is underway, it's going to start. Kumbhabhishekam is going to start where? In the Gurukula. So in the Gurukula becomes the location where the action is taking place. Not to be confused with the fifth case. The fifth case is that one has come from. The origin of action is the fifth case and the location of action is the seventh case. Then there is also, in Sanskrit, we have the vocative case. Rama, it's calling. Yeah, it's a plutaswara. You elongate it because your voice has to carry. Rama might be in the dining hall. Chapad Rama. That's why. Foodie. Okay? So foodie Rama might be in the dining hall. You want your voice to carry, so you elongate that. This is 8th case. And what is 9th case? What happens after using all these 8 cases? Basket case. That is all that is left. So these are called the karakas, that are factors in action. Applicable to who? I, the karta, the doer, the subject. Now, what happens in Vedanta is the swallowing up of all the karakas. See here, so easy it is. Who is the subject? I. Who is the object? I. What are the means of in the instrument? Who is the instrument? I, non-separate from I. What is the purpose? I. Purpose is also non-separate from I. And then, where did this action originate? From me. And what are the things connected to me? Just me. That's also me. And where is the action taking place? In me. Rame Rame Manorame. Very nice it is. Shortcut to Vishnu Sahasranama. Vishnu Sahasranama takes about 25-30 minutes to chant. And nobody has half an hour, okay? Yeah, it's very difficult to have half an hour in one's life. It might sound funny sitting here, but go back to your lives and you will see what I say. Very few people can take half an hour out. And Parvati, knowing this, asked Lord Shiva, please give a shortcut because everybody won't have half an hour. And so he gives this shortcut. Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Rama Nama Varanane. If you chant this, it's like chanting the entire Sahasranama. So they say, okay? Yeah. So, now, Rame means I revel. You revel in what? Rame. In Rama. What is this Rama? Yoginaha yasmin ramante. Ramante asmin yoginaha. Iti Rama. Rama is that in which all the yogis revel. So the seventh, what is that? Atma. Yogis revel not in samosas. Yogis revel in Atma alone. Bhogis revel in samosa, not yogis. So then in Atma alone they revel, and then so the seventh case is what? I. Everything is I. This is called Karaka Upamardhanam. the swallowing up of all karakas when you enter the realm of jnanam. The total annihilation of all the karakas. This is illustrated in the famous mantra we chant before lunch. What is that? Brahmarpanam Brahma Havihi Brahmagnau Brahmanahutam Brahmaiva tena gantavyam Brahma karma samadhina. Brahman is the arpana. Everything is for the sake of Brahman alone. And then what is the offering itself? That you put into the fire. What is that? Ayyo, whatever I ask, the answer is Brahman, okay? Yeah, don't disappoint me. So, what is that you put in the fire? Brahman, non-separate from Brahman. Brahma Havihi. What is the fire? Brahman. Brahmagnau. Brahmagnau. Agnau means in the fire, which is Brahman. The seventh case gone. And then, who is the Yajamana? Brahman. Even after telling the answer, there is hesitation. You don't know what to do. So, who is the Yajamana? Who is the one who is offering? Brahman. And then, what is the goal of this offering? Brahman. If you have doubts, this is going to be very difficult, okay? This conversation between us is going to be very difficult. The goal is Brahman, wayfarer is Brahman. This we have understood separately. It's not that you don't know this, you know this already. The goal is Brahman, the sojourner is Brahman, the road is Brahman, the traveler is Brahman. Like that I have explained in other contexts. This we are using the same logic, we are using the same understanding and using a different, what is that called, simile here, different example. Udaharana is different. Here it's the yajna, because that is what is being talked about here, karma and everything, even in the Bhagavad Gita. Yajna is what people were obsessed with in ancient India. And so this yajna is being talked about. So who is the person performing the yajna? Non-separate from Brahman. Brahman. Brahmagnau, the fire is Brahman. The havis is Brahman. And then, everything is being done for whose sake? Brahman. And for what purpose? To gain Brahman. And then, so Brahma karma samadhina, by the person who has dedicated everything to Brahman. This illustrates this is called karaka upamardhanam. So when kartritva attack comes, I am a karta, I am great, I am wonderful, you can immediately chant this mantra to come down from the hobby horse that one is sitting on. Thinking immediately, as soon as some kind of a pride or manita, dambhita comes, I am great, I have accomplished so much, I have done a lot and I'll continue to do a lot, but really, if I look at my accomplishments, nobody my age has accomplished whatever I have. If that thought even by mistake comes, immediately chant Brahmarpanam Brahma Havihi. Knowing the meaning, that really you are not doing anything. Even the self-made man, so-called self-made man, really. Nobody is self-made. Self-made man also had a mother who gave birth to him. He didn't make himself and drop out of the sky. And then what? Self-made man will say, I studied under street light. Street light given. Buddhi to study given. And then books. Oh, but they were in tatters, they were hand-me-downs. Hand-me-downs given. I had only 2 pairs of clothes. One dhoti on me, another dhoti on the tree drying. Tree given to dry your clothes. You didn't construct the tree. And then what else? The clothes given, more than one pair. One day I ate dal rice, another day I had to eat rice and dal. Given. That's also given. I had to work really hard to educate myself. Given. The hard work, the ability given, body given, mind given. Then somehow I convinced the teachers and the principals of the schools and colleges to take me and educate me for free. Given. Principal given, teachers given, knowledge given. Somehow I got a job with great difficulty. Job given. Buddhi given to get this job. So the so-called self-made man has had a lot of help here. And so there is no such thing. Everything is given. And in this is a two-step understanding, because immediately to say I am Brahman, as you could see, was difficult. Each time I had to prod, even in the room. So therefore, you do a two-step kind of a gradual jump. You don't immediately do that, immediately say Brahman. You say everything is given, Ishvara. Everything is Ishvara. And then you go to the next step and say what? I am non-separate from that Ishvara. That is also given. Vedanta knowledge given. And so, this is the Karaka Upamardhanam. And then here it says, Karakani Upamridnati. When do the Karakas die away? When do the Karakas die away? The death of the Karakas coincides with the rise of knowledge of the self. Very beautifully put here. Vidya Buddhim. So when the Buddhi is oriented towards Vidya. When the Buddhi is Vidya Buddhi. Very nice. A Buddhi that has either attained the Vidya or at the very least is oriented towards the gain of the knowledge, has become a mumukshu, a Buddhi that has become a mumukshu, jignasu, that kind of a Buddhi. The rise of that kind of a Buddhi is the death of all the Karakas. And a lovely example is given, Iva Ushare. Ushara, or sometimes it is called Ushara, means a kind of a dry land, dry salty land, like a lake bed or something like that, which is dried up, there is no water. Or we can even take Ushira as sand, sandy area. Sun and sand go together. So when the sun shines on the sand, what do you see if you keep looking? Mirage water. That is, mirage water. And the Jala Buddhi was there before. Jala Buddhi means water Buddhi. I saw from far, and what did I see? A lovely oasis, mirage water in the desert. And I said, oh, it's so hot, let me go have a dip. So saying, what did I do? I ran towards the water, the lovely lake. Why? Because I was having Jala Buddhi. And then, what happened to the Jala Buddhi when I tried to dip my toe in the water? I went close and I said, okay, now let me see the temperature of the water. If it's too hot, I won't go in. Let me see. And I tried to dip my toe in the water. What happened to the Jala Buddhi? It was replaced by Ushira Buddhi. This is not Jala at all. The Jala Buddhi gone, Ushira Buddhi became predominant. Jalabuddhi is mithya jnanam or satya jnanam? Mithya jnanam. Because that so-called jalam, that so-called water, shining on the surface of that dry sand, and the sand has this silica, and then that's what makes it look like water. Some metal content will always be there in the sand, which shines in the sun. And so this Jalabuddhi was there as long as Ushara Ajnanam was there. The Ushara Ajnanam morphed into Jalabuddhi. Sand Ajnanam gave birth to Miraj Buddhi. Seeing mirage where? Where it is not. This is a pure adhyasa, projection, superimposition. So now that I have gone near means near to this place where this apparition has originated, then what do I see? I don't even see one drop of water. There is no water at all. What is there? Ushara, whatever you want to call it. Both are okay. There is just a dry sand bed. No water is available. So the Jalabuddhi undergoes death. The death of the Jalabuddhi is the rise of Ushara Buddhi. In other words, the death of Miraj Buddhi coincides with and is preceded by the rise of sand Buddhi, desert Buddhi. If this much is understood, then we have to look at it. We have to look at how the how this example relates to what we are talking about. So the death, similarly, for me, the seeker of this knowledge, for me, the mumukshu / jignasu, the mumukshu who has turned into jignasu, for me, the death of all the factors of action, upamardanam, karaka upamardanam. And this is very interesting because you could just say mardanam, you could just say karakani mridnati. Why this upa? This upa is very important. This prefix called upa means samipe, when you get close. Just like in this example. That's why this particular example is given. Rope snake example will not work here even though it's the same idea, because nobody goes close to the quote-unquote snake. Nobody examines it closely. You look at it from far and say eek and run away. For that it is good, nivritti pursuits. But here the water is harmless. The water is not going to come and bite, so I can go close and look at it. So this upamardhanam means when the eye is very, the proximity of this eye to the vision of Vedanta cuts off all the divisions that are born of karakas, factors involved in action. The vision of no division, when it is closely understood, understood means understood as I. That's why upamridnati, and then what else do we know has the word upa in the beginning? Upanishad, same thing. Close. It is concerning me. It's not concerning somebody else. Somebody else, for them, if they are having the death of karakas, glory be. Well and good. But here we are talking of for the mumukshu, for the jignasu, the karakas are all dead. No factors in action other than the truth of oneself. Who is the subject? Me. Who is the object? Me. There is no Atma, Anatma. Anatma, we have seen, is what? An extension of the Atma because it depends on Atma. It's nothing but Atma. Object gone, swallowed up. Then what else is there? Instrument of action. How do you do something? What are the tools? What are the tools here? Nothing. No tools other than me. What is the purpose of action? Arey, I'm telling you there is no action and you want a purpose? There is no purpose other than me. Where did this originate? The I did not originate. It's just me. It has no origin, no beginning, no end. What else is there with the I? Nothing. Nothing other than the I. Sixth case gone, fifth case gone. Where is the I located? It's not located anywhere. Why? Because it is all pervasive. Chaitanyam. And so, what about vocative case? There is nobody else to call out. Atman, like this. Okay? So that is also not there. All the karakas, when they are closely examined, die away. Like even the lake or the mirage lake evaporates in the as one has the knowledge of the sand bed, we can say. Dry sand bed. The dry sand bed knowledge, what does it do? It removes mirage buddhi, water buddhi. So the jala buddhi is replaced by ushara buddhi. Ushara buddhi. So ushara buddhi and jala buddhi are opposed to one another. This is another thing we have to see. So you can't say, I see a little bit of water and a little bit of sand. In knowledge, compromise doesn't work. We have already seen that. You can't see a little bit of water at the same time you see little bit of sand. Doesn't work. So then, jala buddhi is opposed to sand buddhi. And similarly, aham karta and mama idam and all these things, this belongs to me, I am the karta, and then this is my sister, that is my brother, this is my family, that is my gotra, this is my grandfather, all these things, all the karakas. I come from that particular village, and now I am settled in the city, and then I have now come to America, and all these things are just nonsense. They have no pertinence to the definition of the I unfolded by the Upanishads. And until this Brahma, this delusion is given up, the rise of knowledge in the heart cannot take place, because all these karakas means this cacophony of identities. I am this, I am related to that, I come from here, I am going there, and this belongs to me, this doesn't belong to me, I am located here, all these things. This identities conflicts with, is in direct conflict with the understanding of the I as free of all identities. You cannot say I am karta and akarta. Can you say in the same breath? No, you can't. You can't identify both as karta and akarta. It's just physically not possible. You can't say I am not the doer, but yes, I am the doer. You cannot say that. And you cannot say any of these things. And so therefore, how to give up these identities? Cognitively. The cognitive understanding that I am everything. I am non-separate from anything that is here. And all that is here is what? Mithya. And what am I? Sat. Sat Chit Ananda. And what is Mithya? Dependent on Sat. Adhishthana Ananyat. Not non-separate from Sat. So yatra yatra Mithya, tatra tatra Sat. Wherever there is Mithya, or you put it in Indian English, wherever there is Mithya, where there is Mithya, there, what is there? Sat. Can you say the other way around? No. Wherever there is pot, there must be clay. I cannot say wherever there is clay, there is pot. No. Not possible. Because so many things can come out of clay. Lamp you can make out of clay, figurine you can make out of clay, lid you can make out of clay, jar you can make out of clay. It's not necessary that wherever there is wherever there is clay, only pot must be there. This is the Satyam Mithya as though connection. Mithya is non-separate from Sat. Anatma is non-separate from Atma. Atma is what? Transcends Anatma. Anatma is Atma. Atma cannot be Anatma. And so similarly here, I cannot, just like a person, Yugapat, simultaneously cannot see water, mirage and sand at the same time. Because the two are opposed. Sand drishti is opposed to sand bed drishti, is opposed to water drishti. So the vision of the water and the vision of the sand, just like they cannot simultaneously exist. The vision of division, the division I am a karta and I am separated from the factors of action and the means of action and the other people that are coming with me along for the action, everybody is separate. This is a big delusion, and this is completely opposed to the knowledge that I am only one here, non-dually one, and one with everything else that there is. The everything else is dependent upon me. I am not dependent on anything else. In fact, everything is just an extension of me, we can say. And so the two things are extremely opposed to one another. So similarly, the Karaka Buddhi, the Karakas are dropped cognitively, and that becomes a prerequisite for the understanding that I am limitlessly whole and not located in anything, don't have a truck with anything. So then the second line is a rhetorical question. Iti tat satyam adaya. Adaya means accepting. So accepting. Accepting this as satyam. Accepting this as satyam. There is a pun there. Accepting this as the truth, we can say, or accepting this as the reality, we can say. Both are applicable here. Accepting this only reality. What reality? All that there is Satchidananda, and I am that Satchidananda. This is the reality. So accepting this as the only reality, then what is the question asked here? If I accept this as the only reality, then karma kartum vyavasyati. Do you think somebody will then start to do karma? No. Because karma immediately necessitates a feeling of incompleteness, inadequacy. Any karma is attached to desire, and the desire is attached or connected to a sense of insecurity, inadequacy, etc. There is a line in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad which illustrates this very well. Atmanam ched vijaniyat ayamasmi iti purushah kimartham kasya kamaya shariram anusanjvaret. And this sentence is so important that the entire 7th chapter of the Panchadashi, consisting of 96 or 97 verses, is an exposition of this one mantra. The entire long chapter called Tripti Deepa, and considered to be a very important chapter. Amazing it is. So I'm going to summarize this in 5 minutes, okay? Panchadashikara took how many? 296 odd verses, but here we'll try to look at this a little bit and then continue in the evening class. So what is this? This is Atmanam Chet Vijaniyat. If one knows the Atma. Why is there if? Adi Shankara says the word chet is because it is a very difficult thing. There will be many distractions. Many people just drop the pursuit because it requires discipline, it requires prerequisites, it requires to not become a homaholic, not do too many homas and all these things. It requires to let go of the duality. So therefore, it is a big if. If one knows the Atma, Atmanam ched vijaniyat, as what? Ahamasmi, ayamasmi iti purushaha. I am this Atma. Then the question arises, kimartham, for what purpose? Kasya kamaya, to fulfill what want? Shariram, shariram means the body. Anusanjvaret. Shariram anusanjvaret. So shariram means what? Body. And what does the body do? The body goes through various modifications. Suddenly it is well, suddenly it is feverish, suddenly it is happy, it feels comfortable, suddenly there is stomach ache, and gradually it is getting older and older and older and older. The changes for the body. And here, when the body is sick, Shariram, what happens to the Shariram? Sanjvaret. Sanjvaret means becomes feverish, is ill. But I, who do not need anything, kimartham, for what purpose? Kasya kamaya, for what? To fulfill what desire? I don't have any desires. Because this knowledge has cut through the charade that I am an incomplete person, has cut through this masquerade that I am a jiva. The jiva is an impostor. I am Brahman. And Brahman means full, whole, without a second, without any kind of desires, without incompleteness, insecurity, self-judgment, criticism of others, self-loath, self-critique. Nothing is there. This Brahman is amazing. This is me. Once I know this, kimartham, for what purpose? Kasya kamaya, to fulfill what desire will I get re-identified with the body and jump up and down with the body. Body is feverish. What do I say? I have fever. That's how people talk. I think I have fever. At least that's better rather than saying at least there is a little bit of distance, as opposed to saying I am feverish. Sanjvaret, so this sharira, sanjvaret means it is doing its thing, it's in frantic activity. It is trying to throw out the germs and whatever bacteria, it is trying to put up a defense system. It is not feeling well, it is aging, it is cranky, whatever it is doing, the body, mind, sense complex. I don't join them. Because why? I am Purna. I have nothing to fulfill, nothing to seek, nothing to gain, nothing to lose, nothing to accomplish, nowhere to go, nowhere to come out of. And I am not bored. So therefore I don't need entertainment. Atmani eva atmana tushtaha sthita dhihi munihi uchyate. Bhagavad Gita says that. We'll stop here, 7:30 to 8:30. Instead of satsang, we are having class tonight. We will see that. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Yoga is at 11 o'clock. Okay? Can you stop at 12 today? Because I think 12 they'll have some Purnahuti or something. Yeah. So today, tomorrow, 1 hour yoga.